All right, welcome everybody to another edition of Leadership Livestream brought to you by Women's Council of Realtors of Tampa. My name is Nick Sackis with Amplified Marketing Group. We have another great episode for you guys today, and just a little housekeeping like I always do before we start the episode. We are streaming this live on our Facebook page. If you guys would like to share this with any other pages, feel free to hit the share button below. If you have any comments or questions as the show progresses, I will be monitoring the comments as we go. So feel free to throw them in the chat, in the comments below, and I will moderate that as we go. So we have a great vendor today. We're going to be talking all about property inspections. And without further ado, I will bring on the hostess with the mostest, your president of Women's Council of Realtors, Miss Catherine Sackis.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Nick, for the introduction, and I want to give a shout out to Nick and Amplified Marketing for being the Women's Council of Tampa tech guy. And Amplified Marketing is a diamond sponsor and takes care of all of our marketing and social media needs. So I want to thank Nick for always being available to us. So good afternoon, a warm welcome to all of our members, to our strategic partners, and our friends and guests. We always start out our leadership live stream with reiterating the Women's Council of Realtors mission statement. And we are a network of successful realtors advancing women as business leaders in the industry and the communities we serve. Successful business leaders in the communities we serve. And I always sort of tongue-in-cheek remind everybody, because leadership sometimes sounds so scary, that you don't have to take on the world to be a leader. We're all leaders in our own homes, our own lives, our own businesses. So learning leadership skills is important in all aspects of life. And added to this is also being successful and leaders in our health as we get through this challenging time. We designed Leadership Live to help you learn and enhance your tools of leadership by bringing on our strategic partners who are leaders in their own industry. And today we have the marketing manager for Waypoint Property Inspection, and that is Aaron Shishilla. Welcome, Aaron. And Nick, I don't
Hopefully we got the name right, the last name.
We did get the name right. That was perfect.
So welcome, Aaron. We're so pleased and happy that you are on with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And we want to thank Waypoint Property Inspections for being one of our gold strategic partners and supporting Women's Council. So that being said, just a little background about Aaron. Aaron is the youngest registered home inspector in the state of Florida, which is really cool. And I just think that's fabulous. And he's currently the marketing manager for Waypoint. And at that, a little personal background, he grew up in Melbourne. So he's a Florida guy, and attended the University of Central Florida and graduated with a business administration degree in 2019. So that's a great accomplishment. I guess my first question, before I ask that question, I want to say that Aaron grew up in the business. Much like many of you know, Nick was what we call a real estate brat.
Yeah.
Grew up with real estate in the house, office in the house, and learning the business. Aaron's parents were owners of a home inspection company in Melbourne. So tell us a little bit of what it was like to grow up in a home inspection household.
So it pretty much started in 2008, during the recession in 2008, the housing crisis. My dad at the time had quit working in the restaurant industry, and my mother at the time was going back to school to become a nurse. And it was a different time because back then it wasn't home inspections weren't standardized. It was he was doing wind mitigations and 4 points, and as we know, wind mitigations and 4 points, they're $100 inspection. And I remember him saying, "I just need to do 5 of these a week, and we'll be fine." And that was us trying to get through the recession. And now it's just amazing how hard they have worked to grow that company. Uh, you could imagine they wake up immediately in the morning and go to work all day long, and by the evening they're checking reports until 11 o'clock at night. And since that start of the business, that's what they've been doing. Is my mom didn't go back to school to become a nurse. She dropped out and had to help my dad continue to grow the business. So I can tell you, from growing up in that aspect of running your own business, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, but it's very rewarding.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about the behind the scenes, nor do they have the opportunity to see it. But in your case, as with Nick's, it built in, I'm sure, a lot of drive and a lot of ambition and a lot of discipline, at the same time.
Right.
So that being said, why Waypoint? Why did you not stay in Melbourne with your folks?
Right. So or my parents actually were really involved in the industry, inviting other home inspection companies, other home inspectors to come teach or actually learn from what they were doing with wind mitigations. Well, because they got so involved in the industry, we met connections with Austin Heinz and Bob Heinz, who are actually the owners of Waypoint Property Inspection. They started the company back in 2005. It was just pretty much Bob Heinz back then. And he continued to grow the company from this family oriented business to now this 20 teamed operation that is still family owned and operated, but now has so many systems procedures to where they're operating in this size. So back then, because we were so affiliated with the industry, we made connections. I made really good friends with Austin Heinz, Bob's son, where we spoke together in Las Vegas. We would travel to Texas together. We traveled to New Orleans, and we talked about millennials in the workplace, especially in the home inspection industry. From there, they kind of knew that or needed a marketing person, and marketing was kind of my passion. It opened up to be a really great opportunity that they needed a marketing manager, and my parents' company was doing great, although they had another company, pest control company, they were working to grow at the same time. So the fit for what I wanted to do wasn't necessarily there. Doesn't mean that I still visit them every almost every weekend, but it's pretty much how it came to be. Is these two companies grew up family owned and operated, and have now grown so much within the industry that they knew each other and made these great connections.
Well, that's just great. And I love the idea that the company gave you your foundation and then you were able to find your passion
Mm-hmm.
because of it. And again, I hate to keep bringing up the similarities, but I haven't had another young person on. But Nick was the same way, joining real estate and then finding out that marketing was his passion and was able to put the two of them together.
Right.
Um, that being said, even though um, you haven't been in the business that many years, growing up in the business, other than, let's dismiss the COVID situation right now, but saying you were in it since 2008 and starting with those 4 points, and you touched on it briefly about the lack of standardization. What do you see overall as the biggest change in the home inspection business, say, since about the recession?
So since 2008, a lot of people getting into it. It was a time to where people retired and became home inspectors because
Right.
they were experienced in construction. They couldn't do the trades work anymore, so they said, "I need to do this home inspection in order to fulfill my living." Now it's come to a point of people are gaining their license through Florida legislature, because now they're required to get a license. Back then, there was no requirement. And people are doing it and becoming it as a career because they're realizing, hey, if I can do this the right way, I can grow a business and make quite a bit of money doing it, just like anybody can with becoming a real estate agent or, for instance, an electrician. So today it's just a lot more procedurized. People are wanting to come to this career early on.
Well, I think it was interesting too, like you had noted about how it wasn't so standardized. And as you know, I've been in the business a long time, and it was true. Every inspector's report was very, very different. 4 points were about as vague as they were precise. I mean, I even kind of wonder what they were used for. It was so bad,
Right.
until citizens, kind of standardized the whole thing. But as you say, it's true that inspectors generally were former GCs or AC people, that this was kind of like a retirement gig. And then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, the reports got from, a few pages to 30 to 40 to 50, and then photo of everything. Those never used to be on there. Okay. If you weren't at the inspection to see it, you didn't see it. And then this, I'd say, customer service demand of, it wasn't unusual. We could wait 3 days to get a home inspection.
Yeah.
Now it's same day or next day. So the reason I'm going through all that is I can see, I hadn't really thought about it, but I could see how it could attract younger people with not only the training or the knowledge to do the inspections, but the entire technical aspect
Mm-hmm.
of it has changed dramatically. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Yeah, everything is now systemized to what you need to look at, why you need to look at it, and how you need to look at it. So you think about a roof. So many people may have differing opinions. If you came from an AC background back then and you were looking at a roof, you may not have the complete understanding for particular roofing materials. But now home inspectors have a structured way of learning and inspecting those items.
And then just the whole reporting portion, the software, the photos, the links, sending everything on link is very, very different than it used to be. So I would think it would have knocked out a lot of non-tech savvy people,
Mm-hmm.
from the industry, and probably got the attention of younger people, kind of do it faster, better, you know, stronger kind of thing. So coming forward to the COVID environment, you grew up in the business, you became a home inspector, you're familiar with all the different software, the technical requirements, and now here comes COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happened?
Uh, Pretty much business was as usual. I think our company, Waypoint, was in a really great position as far as we were in this huge growth mindset. Um, and everybody, I guess, had their 2020 goals for where they wanted to be, what they wanted to accomplish this year. The year was just getting started. Uh, Unfortunately, because of the circumstances, things change. But of course, as everyone says, hindsight is 2020. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done this. However, I still think Waypoint as a company, because it was so organized, because we had all the systems in place, and because we had, items such as a marketing team, an office, an inspector structure to where we had a senior inspector who could oversee everyone. Because we had all those systems in place, we were able to accordingly handle the COVID situation and how we should.
And when you say handle, what did you do explicitly? Like change automatically to, like, what became your COVID protocol, I guess, so to speak,
Right.
as far as inspector expectations or how they're going to handle things? What
So
changed there?
So with the inspectors, pretty much in all home inspection industry, in the whole home inspection industry, everyone had a standard now to where they're carrying sanitation equipment, carrying wipes, they're wearing a mask, they're wearing gloves. We're encouraging our buyers and our realtors or anybody, all of our customers, that hey, if you don't want to attend any inspection, we don't want to recommend it and we don't want to push you to attend the inspection. We can definitely call you via Zoom or call you, text you over the phone. It's not a problem. So everyone kind of has those standards now to where you, of course, need to protect yourself and you need to protect others. Coming forward, in difference to that, the inspectors also have a different way of, for instance, handling how they're working together, or when they're attending an inspection, they need to start sanitizing all the equipment. From the marketing team or the marketing standpoint, now we're doing webinars like this. We're doing Zoom calls constantly. We're doing digital marketing avenues or strategies, such as all the content onto our website to reach people.
It's funny when you say, when you speak about the industry adjusting, and most, everybody, if they're going to be in business, has this in place, when this is about a month old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that being said, I could see where you're prepared system wise and training wise and stuff. But when it first happened, what was your biggest challenge? I mean, did you have a cupboard full of wipes, or were you out there scrambling to get supplies? What happened?
No, honestly, our owners were very good as far as delegating information and how they got their supplies, but also other business connections. So other small businesses that we work with were helping out other businesses. For instance, there was one business that was able to collect so many eggs that we were able to cook food for the healthcare workers at Brandon Regional Hospital. So
What?
we
That's
were
cool.
able to gather all that information. With real estate brokers, we've worked with them to where, hey, they have an extra 200 something mats. We're going to give it to Waypoint Property Inspection, so then that way our buyers are safe. So it's those business connections that really have helped streamline this process to where we're gathering materials if we can't find them, but to keep everyone safe and going at the same time.
That is really, we'll call the 2020 definition of networking, huh?
Yeah.
You know, and that takes a lot of leadership to even think about it, to implement it, to get in touch with the other leaders, to get them into agreement. So I think that's just a
Yeah, that's
really
really good.
cool
That's awesome.
approach.
Yeah.
And as with anything, the one of the biggest benefits of success is that you can give back.
Right.
And I applaud y'all that even in this environment, while you're so-called shopping around for your own stuff to keep your place going, that you had the thought process and the wherewithal to provide food for the people on the front lines. That's really to be commended.
Yeah, I really have to give a shout out to, the marketing team with us and our leadership. So the owners are very involved with other different businesses. The marketing team at Waypoint is really tremendous with, again, connecting with other businesses to be able to make these connections and have these opportunities. So they're tremendously awesome at keeping these people close.
I think that's going to be a good outcome of all of this, is that um, the idea of collaboration and cooperation and all that has become much stronger. Like, everybody's in the same boat. Let's just help everyone out.
Yeah.
To
Right.
stop viewing everybody as the enemy. Um, Someone told me, coined a word on a panel I was on not long ago and called it cooperation. It doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
to be competition.
Right.
There's
Right.
enough business for everybody. So Waypoint sounds like they were on it early. What's your view, since you are in touch with all these other small businesses? What do you think you could generalize, say, that has been the biggest challenge for small business during this?
I would say the biggest challenge for them is being able to support their workers, their employees. We ultimately, as business owners, especially the leadership at Waypoint, Bob Heinz, Eddie, and Austin, they all want to make sure that they're able to take care of their employees first. So that involves making sure that they can get grants and the loans from the U.S. government to be able to supply those our employees and everyone else. So I definitely feel like with small businesses, their biggest struggle is not just implementing the systems, because I feel like that's an easy piece they can do, but it's just supplying their employees with the security that they need during this time.
Without getting too personal, have they had any success with the PPP during the small business? I was saying before we went on the air, I was just going through it this morning. It's quite the administrative challenge.
Right. Yeah. I know our leadership, they were getting it done immediately. So they had all the information that they needed. They submitted it immediately. As far as the status on that, we were told that we would be updated, not from leadership, but from
The
the
banks,
actual
yeah.
the banks, and it's just a waiting game at this point.
Right,
So we haven't
exactly.
had gotten total confirmation. We've heard from some companies that, hey, yeah, we've been approved, and we've heard from some companies, yeah, we haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I applied early too, but I got knocked out with the first wave of funding that,
Mm-hmm.
disappeared. So it's added an extra layer onto everyone. But I applaud them for going through the motions and taking on the challenge, because that is one of the extra stresses is the people that are relying on you,
Right. Mm-hmm.
for your business. So looking back at this little, um, it seems like forever, but it's really been about a month. What would you say is one or a couple of the things that you're proudest of? I mean, I know we talked about the food for the hospital people. Is there anything else you can cite as you feel like is a really big accomplishment at this time?
I would be super proud of our team at Waypoint for all their fast action. But then it's in situations like this, to where we have, for instance, a recession as a comparison, there's either people that are going to ride it out, and say, well, we have to hunker down, or there's people that are going to advance on these opportunities that are going to arise and be creative in their situation. And I feel that Waypoint has definitely taken the moment or the stance of being creative, being innovators within this time, and doing their best to help the industry as a whole, using their stance and what they have.
That's a great approach, and again, that shows true leadership as well. Um, so just kind of looking forward, nobody has the crystal ball. I mean, you certainly have a good handle on your industry. What do you see as a possible forecast coming out of this, whether it be the general real estate industry or what you see happening with home inspection, or a combination of both?
So I
What's your
know
crystal ball?
the home inspection companies that I've been in contact with have seen either a substantial drop off, or they might be close to last year's numbers. For instance, if they were expecting massive growth this year, they might be super close to 2019 numbers. So although they're not seeing the massive drop off that other people may be seeing, they're seeing like just a flat line of growth. Moving forward, coming out of this, I think it ultimately depends on our state itself as far as when we start to open up. But I think once we start to open up, I think one of the biggest aspects we need to bring or get people back to work, especially our restaurant people, the gyms, people that are in nail salons, even hair salons, all these other workers that are no longer and haven't been seeing their workplace need to get back to work in order to fully understand when we're gonna see that spike again in real estate.
And it's so interconnected, because so many of those businesses, you say, well, what does a nail salon have to do with real estate? Well, those people have to buy homes too.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a business. They can't buy a home, rent an apartment, buy a second home, help their kids buy a home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all such a intricate web. And Florida, being primarily a service industry, the backbone of it is real estate.
Yeah.
You know,
No matter what, people are going to be careful of their money until things start opening up.
I believe so too. I think people, and that's good, because the same thing happened, um, again, because dinosaur talk, I call it. I've been in the business a long time. As things are really good, as we were heading towards the recession around 08, 09, even though you think you're careful, you do start spending like stupid money because you
Mm-hmm.
have it. And you can do all those extra things, and you don't necessarily check your bank account or your charge account to see if you got charged properly. Well, now we just got ratcheted back
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
reality. And that's a good thing because we are supposed to be good stewards of our money
Right.
and everything that's been given to us. So maybe we needed this little, we'll call it a correction,
Yeah.
on a lot of levels. So I'm guessing everyone in your organization, you have 20 inspectors, is that right?
We have about 10 inspectors. Yeah.
But you have
And,
about 20 employees, right?
yes, correct. Yeah.
And so far, everybody healthy, safe, all that good stuff.
Everyone's healthy, everyone's safe. Those that can work at home are working at home. So all of our staff, all of our marketing admin are all working from home. Those inspectors, whenever they do have an inspection, they keep their vehicles at home and they go out, they put the gloves on, their masks on, their sanitation equipment is right with them, and they're going out to inspect. So it's pretty much an operation that is remaining COVID safe.
And being that you offer the buyers the option to be there or not, what are you finding most of the time, whether they want to come or not?
Most of the time they don't want to come. However, those that do, they understand that our inspectors may ask them to stay. Hey, even though I got the proper PPE on, I'm going to ask you that you stay 6 feet away from me. We can talk in that 6 feet distance. But those that do want to attend, who feel it's very important to attend the inspection, follow the inspector around, that's completely fine, just as long as they're keeping that distance the inspector asked for.
And when you think of it, like the inspector, what's the average inspector? 2 or 3 a day, would you say?
2 a day. Mm-hmm.
2 a day. Then all the reports, then the photos, the this, the that, and getting it out by that night or first thing in the morning, and another whole layer of time that now they're doing video calls with the clients and all
Right.
that evening, right?
Right. So our inspectors are used to doing the inspection, say, for instance, 2 to 3 hours. They finish it in 2 hours. They do a max 30-minute summary with the buyer and the agent. So even though that was the case before, now it's pretty similar. They may have to adjust maybe their call schedule to where
Right.
a buyer may say, hey, I have to work right now. I can't take your call. And that's completely fine. So our systems are pretty much, or our structure, our timeline is pretty much the same during this time.
You're right. I didn't think of that because they're missing the time of talking to the buyers at the inspection
Right.
and all that. And that being said, they might even be able to get through it a little quicker without.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
because as agents, we're all about customer service and we always go to inspections and there is a lot of chatter. So,
Right.
there's a silver lining to this thing.
Yeah.
I have. Well, we're going to begin to start to wrap this up. You've been just delightful and a breath of fresh air, and we're so proud of your accomplishments at such a
Thank you.
young age. And I can tell from talking to you, you're going to be a big moving force in the industry coming on. Do you have any words of advice or encouragement for our listeners?
I would say one of the biggest things is keeping the proper mindset. So understand that there's people that want to ride this out, and that's great. That's a perfect way to handle the situation. But at the same time, if you're looking to grow from this situation, there's tons of innovation that you can implement within yourself by just having that creative mindset and thinking, what can I do during this time to excel my business even more? This is a perfect time to show your marketing strategy in a helpful way and also connect with other people on an emotional level. So, although the traditional way of marketing might be a certain way, you could adjust that to be able to connect with those buyers, sellers, or whoever your clientele are on emotional level using this COVID-19 situation.
So, your basic message is flexibility and
Mm,
opportunity.
for sure.
Can you kind of sum it up?
Yeah,
That's great.
that's a great way to sum it up.
That's encouraging words for everyone. Well, we want to thank you again, Aaron. Like you said, you've just been delightful. I want to thank Nick again and Amplified Marketing. Nick, do you have anything to add? Are there any questions or anything on the
No,
screen?
I think that was great, and he touched on a lot of good things. Right now it's just a matter of being more human in your business, right? So as much as you can, be as flexible as you can, and just help as many people as possible get through this, and we'll move forward and push through it and be better than ever when we come out of this.
Yeah.
Agreed. Mindset is everything. I want to remind everyone, I want to thank everyone who came on to watch this live, Want to remind everyone that we'll have a replay shortly, Nick, about how long? About an
It'll
hour.
post in a couple minutes, yeah, but it'll be on the
Well,
YouTube channel by tomorrow.
it'll be on the YouTube channel by tomorrow, reposted shortly. Remind everyone, no matter what you see in your feed from Women's Council, like and share, like and share. We want to be able to um, um, bring our organic reach as high as we can. As far as Women's Council goes, we promised you a value proposition in the beginning of the year. We're hoping we're continuing to deliver. We're going to continue the leadership lives. And saying on that, Aaron, can you tell me just a quick blurb why you think it's important to be a strategic partner in Women's Council?
Yeah, it's very important to be a strategic partner in WCR. The reason being is because there's a whole different aspect to real estate with as far as the females in the real estate industry and the women in the real estate industry. I can tell you from personal experience, working with my parents' company, my dad was one of the first members in the home inspection industry to be a strategic partner in that affiliation for WCR. And that's where he saw a lot of his growth for his company, was being affiliated with WCR. It's such a great area, such a great chapter that was, especially here in Tampa.
Well, we really appreciate your kind words, and we appreciate you being a partner again. And that's what we're there for, to network and support each other. So we hope we have a long continued relationship with you and your firm. We have some great programming coming up. Don't forget, we have Tipsy Tuesdays. So we have a little happy hour together. And coming up on May 21st, we had a phenomenal program planned for you with Matt Jones. He's a national and international speaker, motivational speaker, 3-time cancer survivor, marathon runner. His story is extraordinary. And, well, we cannot guarantee we can do this luncheon live. So we've talked to Matt, and we are going to do it on video, Nick. So you're going to have to organize all that.
Yep.
And the bonus with having Matt here is that he was going to bring everybody one of his national bestseller books. And I've arranged with him that everyone that attends will get an ebook. So you'll still have the benefit of hearing Matt. You'll have the benefit of the book. You won't have the benefit of the delicious lunch, but feel free to eat while you're watching. Pick yourself something yummy. And that'll be on the 21st. You'll see some marketing coming out about that very shortly. And we will continue programming from there. Remember, there's a lot of information and video and training available to you on the national webpage, wcr.org. Tons of webinars, trainings, information at that site. So be sure to check it out. If you have not joined our private Facebook page, go to Women's Council Tampa private group, join. And there you can post anything from your listings to questions to just general comments about the market. Don't forget, we have the regular Facebook page as well. Nick, have we had any more questions or comments come on before we?
Just a couple of comments. Someone said this is my third WCR live event, so we thank you for joining. Right, we had a comment here that didn't come through all the way, but having a good manicure with customers, people are looking forward to getting back to those nail salons, right?
I see some great shout outs for Aaron.
I think that's very important. Yeah, Aaron did mention, someone asked in the comments about how much it is to get an initial inspection. So for you guys, you want to contact Aaron directly, you can find him on social media, I'm sure, or go to waypointinspection.com to get a quote starting at $299.
And there was quite a few shout outs to what a great job you did, Aaron.
Yeah.
So we thank
Good job,
you
buddy.
again. And
Thank
also, as far as we know, the Wire Conference is on for women at the end of June. And Florida Association of Realtors is planning their August convention. The Women's Council mid-year meetings in DC are now all going to be virtual, and anyone can attend for the low fee of $50. So go to Women's Council National or to NAR webpage, and you can register for those. So all that being said, our ending word. Aaron, what do you think is the absolute best thing that's come out of all this?
I think one of the best things that have come out of this is our ability to work together. You know, as you mentioned with that fancy word that I can't remember or I don't want to try and pronounce, but
Cooperation.
everyone, yeah, exactly that one. Everyone's wanting to work together, even though we're competitors in the same industry, the same market. We're wanting to work together in order to help each other out in this situation. At the end of the day, we're all human, so we still need the same needs as everyone else.
Love it.
So true. So true. Nick, any final words?
No, I love all this. I think, getting together with everybody again, being more human, making connections and networking through Women's Council Realtors, other great vendors, other people that we have connections with. We're going to get through this, and it's going to be great on the other side.
I like to think of it. I really dislike the term social distancing because we're not social distancing, we're physically distancing.
Yeah.
We're still socially staying connected. Thank God for technology. Thank God for the young people that know how to use it. And so I think it's given everyone an opportunity to stay connected and even be more mindful of those connections. So that's it. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in. Thank you, everyone that's going to watch it on a replay. Thank you again, Aaron.
Thank
We
you.
really enjoyed having you. Best wishes going forward for you and your career. And again, thank Waypoint for being a gold sponsor. Thank you, Nick, for being a diamond strategic partner. And to all of our WSTAR members, partners, friends, have a great day and a great week. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you next week. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.